Right here with George Rose. George, a few weeks now, Tim Tszyu's fight in Orlando, fights tomorrow on Fox Sports, Janibek, Mikhailovich also maybe around the corner. Where do we start? Start with the fights tomorrow night on Fox. Got a little card down there in Melbourne.
Yeah, real good card, and we're excited to be heading down there, doing our first co-promo with Wildfighter, and I really love what Will Tomlinson does down there in Melbourne, and he's got a lot of good fighters on the card, and we've got some great ones as well too. So I've always liked the No Limit on Fox shows because they are, they're a chance to unearth the next crop of talent coming through, and also to showcase what we've got. So I think we'll get some good eyeballs on the show. So hoping to see some really good performances.
What's sort of the strategy there? Is to sort of break into that Melbourne market? I guess sell some pay-per-views down there in the future, or what's the thinking there?
Yeah, well, we're always looking for the next Melbourne stars, We're always looking to unearth new talent, and we've been hanging to get down to Melbourne for quite a while, and this sort of just fell into place, We were hoping to do a Melbourne pay-per-view earlier in the year and again later in the year, but with boxing, things don't always fall the way that you want them to fall. So when this opportunity popped up, we thought, let's take advantage of it and really make a good show out of it and get back down to Melbourne.
I guess soon enough, everyone will be talking about Tim Tszyu's fight. How are things going there? How's that undercard coming along?
Yeah, there's a few announcements coming. I won't give you an exclusive today, but we're not far off. Some really good announcements there. So Tim's tracking really well. Tim's pumped. Tim's pumped, ever since we locked it away. So he's looking forward to putting on a really good show in Orlando, and we'll have some great undercards announced for you very, very soon.
Saw Tim on the Canelo-Berlanga telecast the other day. Looked healthy, looked strong, looked confident. How have you enjoyed, I guess, his rise in the States, the publicity that he's getting over there?
Well, I think it's good because he's, he became a star here. He became a star. He knows how to become a star. It's not just his performances that people are attracted to, but, it's a persona of Tim Tszyu, his attitude towards how he fights. He'll fight anyone, anytime. He wants to be active. People hang for that. So the type of fighter that he is, people are getting behind, and he speaks so well. He looks so well on camera. He's a good-looking guy, so it always helps. So I thought he was really good on the PBC broadcast the other day, and it's going to get people even more excited for this IBF world title that he's about to win.
Much of a challenge is this fight. This guy's good, this Murtazaliev.
He's very good. He's very good. And it's it's one of them fights where not a lot of people have seen a lot of him. So you're on a hiding to nothing coming in against him because he hasn't been seen by the masses. So people don't know what to expect. People think that, this is a Tim Tszyu fight that he should win easily. And it's not the case. He's the world champion. He's literally the world champion. He fought his way to get there, and Tim's got to try and take that off him. So, essentially we should be coming in as underdogs against the world champion, but because he hasn't been seen as much as Tim Tszyu has, people straight away, they just assume that Tim's going to win. But it's hard work. It's hard work to get there, and he's done all the work out of the ring at the moment to be prepared. Now he's just got to finish the job off when it comes to it.
What are you expecting? Are you expecting this guy to a bit of trash talk there, them both to speak in Russian? What are we going to expect during this fight?
Yeah, well, that could be where the trash talk comes. I think Tim's actually a very respectful fighter. His focus is on winning and absolutely destroying his opponent. So he doesn't usually use the trash talk leading into a fight, but he never backs down from it either.
Fights on the weekend, did you see Canelo's performance? What did you make of that?
I loved that fight. I thought it was a great fight. Berlanga was huge. He looked very big in the ring, and I thought Canelo fought really well, got the win. When the knockdown came in the third, I thought that was the end of it. But Berlanga's tough. He's a good fighter, but every time Canelo fights, you can't help but tune in and get excited for the whole experience of a Canelo fight, because especially at this stage of his career, because you're always wondering, when does he get old? When does he fall off? When's it going to happen? And it didn't happen on the weekend, and I think that he'll still stay strong and continue to look strong going forward.
Whenever Canelo fights these days, it seems that Crawford's name comes up. On that performance, do you still think that Crawford-Canelo fight's a possibility? Crawford's Fondora's been mandated to fight Crawford by December, or he gets stripped. But what do you sort of see the state of play there?
Yeah, look, it's a fight I'd watch. It's a fight I'd watch. I'd watch Crawford versus Canelo. I think Canelo wins, but I'd watch it. I think Canelo's too big and too strong. Crawford's amazing though, and I think, you know, if Crawford wants to keep hold of his belts, he shouldn't fight Tim Tszyu.
You guys like to look ahead. Tim doesn't like to look ahead. Every time I ask Tim Tszyu what's next, he sort of, you know. What is sort of the future look like for Tim if he gets past this Murtazaliev?
Great weight division for him to be in. I think there's a lot of good fights there. I think we've got Fundora, we've got Lubin, we've got Spence, we've got Crawford. There's plenty of good fights around in this division right now. And then even just above too at middleweight, you know, when that eventually happens, there's fights just outside his weight division too that are going to be great for him. But right now in the super welterweight division, there's a lot of good fights. So I'd love to see him in any one of those. Charlo's another one I didn't mention. You know, there's genuinely exciting fights, and not just for Tim and for us, but for everyone to want to tune into. So I'd love to see him tick all of those boxes over the next 18 months.
Now, Janibek, Mikhailovich, you guys won the purse bid a couple of weeks ago. There's been nothing since. Any sort of update on that fight? When can we expect to see something on that?
Well, when are you going live with this one?
Probably this afternoon.
Well, I can't give you nothing. I can't give you nothing yet. There'll be an announcement very soon for that.
Is that a fight that you guys will want to put on here? Will it be a pay-per-view? Do you think it'll be No Limit on Fox? What's the sort of thinking around that fight?
Yeah, look, we won the purse bid, so we'll definitely put it on here. You know, we deserve to have, you know, the rights in our favour and the advantage in our favour, and winning that purse bid opened that door for us to be able to have the fight here and somewhere where Andre feels comfortable fighting. So it's a big benefit for us. It's a big trip for Janibek. So yeah, I'll have a. You're gonna have to run something again tomorrow because I've got something coming for you very soon.
Safe to say everyone will be pretty happy with the outcome. Why did you guys go so hard on that fight?
We didn't think that we went that hard. We I actually thought that we would lose the purse bid. I thought we tossed around the numbers, and the fact that we won by such a small margin on the purse bid. It's great. It works out in our favour. You know, a lot of things then fall into our favour on how we do the show, where we do the show, when we do the show. So that comes with winning the purse bid, and you know, now we're just looking forward to putting on a world title fight for another Australasian fighter. You know, who's in with a real chance against a very tough opponent.
Now the fight's tomorrow night. I saw that Michael Zerafa's on the broadcast. Where does he sort of sit in the ecosystem of Australian boxing right now?
Well, he's the biggest star out of Melbourne, really. You know, like you think of Melbourne boxing, he's probably the biggest star from down there right now, and that's what I mean. We need to unearth so much more talent down there, and this is what a show like this could do. Michael Zerafa, he's wanting to be the king of Australian boxing again. He didn't get his opportunity to really solidify that in his last fight, but there was, you know, he showed that he was a lot more aggressive in that fight than his previous fight. And he's got plenty to say. He's got plenty to say about boxing, so I've got no doubt he'll do very well on the commentary when he gets his chance.
N.Tszyu Tszyu, great win last time out against Murtazaliev. Is there a hand injury there? What's the status on that? And does that delay a potential fight with Zerafa?
Yeah, well, you know, Nikita, there's no set date on when his next fight will be. It will be pushed back due to the injury. But I think it's still a really interesting fight. You know, if Zerafa wants to compete at that weight, I think it's a really good fight.
Do you think Zerafa will have a fight in the interim, or you guys don't want to risk perhaps, you know, him losing and then you lose it all?
No, well, again, to be the best, you've got to beat the best. So that's boxing. Every time we put on a fight, there's a risk of losing. So while we might have these great, well thought out plans of how there's this rosy path to, a good result, it doesn't always work out that way. And you face obstacles, whether it's injuries, whether it's losses, and having to bounce back from that. the path isn't always set in stone. So we've got to, we've just got to adapt when it happens. If Zerafa wants to fight again before then, he'll have to win it if he wants to get the next fight. You've got to keep winning.
What would a build-up there, Nikita Tszyu Zerafa, be? Obviously, we saw the controversy with Zerafa the other headlines everywhere. Massive event for Nikita against Mizzouti. Would Nikita Tszyu Zerafa be bigger than Tim Tszyu Zerafa was 3 years ago?
Good question. I really don't know. I think we'll find out when we get there, but I think the interest is there to see how good Zerafa looked in his last fight, to see how close Nikita came to not getting through his fight. I think, there's a real 50-50 mentality on how that fight goes. I think a lot of the public think that, this fight's a lot closer than what we'd like to see it to be. I still believe that Nikita wins every day of the week. I think Nikita beats, everyone that he gets in the ring with. So I'm confident in Nikita, but man, Michael Zerafa is amazing. You saw what he did to Isaac Hardman when he got the chance. That was the last big domestic fight that he had that was touted to be one that he was going to lose leading into it. So he upset everyone there, and he's going to be confident rolling into his next opportunities.
Sam Goodman, any update on there? There was talk a potential Christmas Eve fight in Japan against Inoue. Any update?
Not yet, but there will be news for Sam coming quite soon too. After the next news, we've got a few newses to do before we get to that one. So you'll get the news.
I'll be back. But obviously, that would be a massive opportunity for Sam if that fight was to be made.
Huge, and it's what he's been working towards for quite some time. He's excited about the opportunity. He's ready to take it on and create history. Create a massive upset. We just talked about upsets. That's what Sam Goodman's here to do. He's here to upset it all and create history and become the champion.
This final one, been about 18 months now since you guys signed that exclusive deal with Foxtel. How have things been going? How do you look back on how things have went? Are there any things you'd do better? How do you sort of reflect on things so far?
Yeah, look, I think it's been good. I think for what we've had, I think we've done quite well. We've been able to do some really good no-limit on Fox shows. We've had some great pay-per-views, some really good cards. I think the relationship, the working relationship with Fox is now the best that it's ever been, and what we're able to do in that space with boxing, with everything leading up to a fight is a lot better now since we've been exclusive. So I think we've seen huge growth in the boxing broadcast, and I think it's only going to keep getting better. I think every fight, we actually just had a debrief this morning on one of our last fights. So every fight we're looking to do better and maximise opportunities for viewing public and for boxing fans to be able to enjoy the most that they can. And we'll keep growing. We'll keep growing into the next year.
Beauty. Thanks, George.
Thank you.